Okay, hello everyone. Let me check my computer and see if we are actually live. I hope everyone is doing well. Great, we are live. Doing well. Let's mute that. Okay, so today, let's see if I can set this over here so I can check the chat, see if anyone happens to come in. I feel like that's going to fall off there. Pretty close, as long as the cats don't come and walk on it, right? Okay, so today I am going to be working on a canvas that I've had in the works for quite some time. I'm inspired to do this video because of my aunt who asked me to talk about my process. So this is what inspired this painting. The camera quality isn't very good on this phone. I'm trying to set it up to where I can work with my the iPhone that my son gave me to use, but that is a lot. The rig that I have here to hang the phone to be able to do this is too low for the iPhone camera settings, so I have to raise it up. And anyway, I'm in the mood to do this right now, so I'm using the other phone, and it is what it is. So this piece, the reason I'm working on this piece, for a couple of different reasons right now. The gallery for the month of September, the gallery that I show my work in for the month of September, the theme is, for the show and show, is water. And I had a piece that I was really excited about entering. I really love this piece, but I didn't follow my instinct. And I went to do a liquid glass coat on it, and it didn't work out. And the edges are just all messed up. And so unfortunately, I can't, it's just not the quality that I can enter into a gallery show. I thought about recreating the piece in time for entry, which I could do, and I may still do, but between now and then, I remembered this piece that I had started. So I don't know, the quality just isn't that great, but this is a combination of things that I've done with this so far. So in the clarity on this phone just really sucks. So it started out as a acrylic paint pouring piece, and the idea that I had was, I don't know if you've ever seen those contemporary tiles that have like a wave pattern in it. And so what I did here initially was I poured out in the colors that I used, which I don't even remember the names of them. It's been so long, but here's kind of, you can get an idea. I used several different shades of kind of aquas and blues, and so I poured those out into the lines of the kind of like those tiles that inspired me, and then I ended up swiping across them, and anyway, it didn't quite look the way that I wanted it to look with that effect. So then I used my straw and I kind of was blowing out some areas, and I really kind of liked what was happening with the wave effect. Let that dry. Still was not happy with what was going on. I had a lot of solid white areas where I had blown with the straw and it had blown into the canvas. And although it made this really, really great like splash effect, I wanted texture. So then I came back in with my gesso white. Hello, kitten. Please don't walk on the computer. It'll fall over. You're blocking the light. I love you, Day Day. Come on, little kitten. I love you. Thank you. This is my work surface. You know better. So then I came in with my gesso white and I said, well, let's put some texture into it. And I did these, I don't know if you can see, maybe it was a combination of gesso and titanium white. But I did these swirls into the white, which I really, really like. It gives the painting texture, the kind of a water kind of feel with those swirls into it. It's in the areas where I blew it out, so it's kind of like crashing. So from there, it's been sitting for quite some time because I know that I needed to add something more to it, and I just haven't been able to figure out what that was until today. So here's the process about that. So I really try and follow my intuition, my instinct, and my birthday is coming up, and I got I got a little book from my mom, and then I got a card from my aunt. I'm going to show you both of these because this is very important to what's going to happen next with this painting. The book that my mom gave me is this very beautiful pop-up book. So it's very three-dimensional. And I do three-dimensional art pieces. I've been kind of, you know, working and doing some abstract painting as well. So I haven't done a three-dimensional piece in a while. I've talked about it. But then my aunt, I received in the mail today, sent me this incredible, beautiful card, my Aunt Karen, which is another, and I don't think that she and my mom talked about this, but it's a pop-up card. So delicate, so beautiful, but it's a three-dimensional piece. And so I was like, okay. So that was in the back of my mind. So my initial thought with this is I was going to use a balloon, and I was going to take the colors and kind of do balloon swirls to try and kind of make some waves around where the white was here. And as I was looking for my balloons, I found this. Now this, on the shelf, and I did this, I don't know, it has to be over a year ago when I was experimenting with resin. And I was probably, I don't know, I think I was trying to make some kind of wave. These rocks are, they're colored glass. You can get it at the craft store. I was probably trying to make some kind of wave. And that's why, and it just so happens that these are the same colors that are in here, obviously kind of watercolors. But I saw this and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. So I had like this big chunk of it. It's kind of bendable and flexible. And I kind of set it on the middle here, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's great. But I don't just want this blob right in the middle. I've got all these little, so will this break apart? And it does. So I broke off a chunk, and I can actually break these pieces off and set them right where the white swirls are, where they're crashing into these rocks. And I'm so excited. So I was listening to my intuition that said, create a 3-dimensional piece. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I have Ms. Chris Gamer joining me in chat. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna just work on that for a little bit today. Tearing off some of these chunks of rock to create this 3-dimensional piece. And we're just gonna kind of randomly go with it and see where this breaks apart and see where it looks good on the canvas. Pretty excited about it now. I have attached my 3-dimensional pieces in the past to, or with liquid glass, but I'm not going to do that this time. I will probably just attach these with what's the word I'm looking for? Epoxy glue. There you go, epoxy glue. Being very careful that it doesn't push out to the sides. And then I'll just clear coat the whole thing with a spray clear coat. So yeah, I'm real excited about how this is going to look, how it's going to turn out. I think it's going to add the dimension that I wanted to this piece. And I will keep you all posted as to, it's really hot in here right now, and I'm kind of dripping on my canvas. It's interesting how this is tearing apart, because I was using, it's got acrylic paint in it. It's got, so the paint is kind of stretching out, and I'm trying to decide if this is like something I want to keep and actually fasten it down where it's kind of like flexible and the paint is stretched off. Since we're in the same color scheme, I might do that. This is why you never want to throw anything away. When you create something and it doesn't quite want to turn out the way that you thought it would, there's always an opportunity to save it and use it in some other kind of creation later on down the line. So yeah, Miss Gamer is asking me how I created this rock. Well, maybe before you got here, this is crushed glass, and it's already got kind of a aqua color to it. And I don't know, a long time ago when I was playing around with different kind of craft ideas, I had was trying to make a wave or something. I was trying to make something, I don't even remember what it was, but it didn't work out. So I ended up like just taking all of the resin and the paint and just everything and just kind of like crumpling it into a pile in the middle of this plastic. It must have taken a month to dry. There was so much. So I just had it sitting in this plastic for probably, I don't know, a year, sitting on a shelf. And when I went to go look for something else to do with, to create onto here, I found it and I was like, oh my gosh, look, it's the same colors. It's the same. So I couldn't even tell you how I created it. It just kind of happened. It was a mistake that's going to end up working out for something else. So that's about how that works. I really wish this camera was better on this phone. I might have to make another video that has with my other camera so that you can actually see the textures that are going on. So right now all I'm doing is I'm just breaking off pieces here that I can then set into. You can't really see on the canvas here, but I have white in these white areas. I've actually painted with a brush swirls of where like the waves have crashed over. So they're elevated. It's elevated off of the canvas. It's got texture here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these rock pieces and putting them up against where those swirls are. So it's like they're crashing into these rocks. And I'm really liking how it's looking and how it's turning out. I think it's just a great use of for what it is that I wanted to create here. Very excited about it. So I'm just going to work on tearing this apart and laying this out and seeing what happens. And once I've got everything laid where I want to, then I can go ahead and use some epoxy glue to attach it here to the canvas. I'll have a really nice three-dimensional piece. I think what I'm going to call this piece is Crash Into Me. And we'll enter it into the gallery this month for the water show and show, water theme. And we'll see what happens. Thank you all for joining me. That is my process on this piece. I will do another video for my next piece and show you how it turned out once it's all said and done with a better camera. Thanks for watching.